Welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is a T-70. It's a Tier 3 Soviet light tank. It's on the north spawn of Prokhorovka under the command of Mary Banks. And alongside her in platoon is Ramtoff in his Locust. Okay, game started. And off goes Ramtoff. I think he's going to go up to the centre line. And this M3 Stuart appears. Ac12207. Now it appears that this guy is a troll, and he came and sat in front of Mary Banks, and Mary Banks wondered what the hell was going on. So she typed out a message in chat and asked him what his game was, and at that point he drove away. Okay, so Mary Banks is now playing the game, but she is about to get trolled by that M3 Stuart. Ramtoff's moved over to the west side of the map, and Mary Banks is joining him. Well, the T-70, it has a 45mm gun with 55 alpha and penetration of 75mm of armour. Mary Banks has stopped again. I think she's typing a message. Best to do that when you're in cover, actually, rather than out in the open, just in case you do get spotted. But the enemy's so far away at the moment, I don't think they can see her. Yep, your game is you don't make much sense, fellow. Yep, quite true. Well, Mary Banks has gone into the bushes right at the north end of the west side. And you can see that M3 Stuart is coming back. Not coming directly, but he's actually headed north. And very shortly he will come over in this direction. Mary Banks is firing at the T-70, as you can see on the centre line. And a Panzer III Mark III-E has appeared. And she gets the kill. Where's that M3? Well, he's coming up behind her. He's coming directly over here. Mary Banks moves up just a little. And let's see what this M3 does. Yes, he's going to troll her. Comes directly up behind her and rams her. Now, doesn't that remind you of a certain player who was caught doing this to Zoe Balls recently? Prokhorovka. Well, the M3 has... Mary Banks managed to shake him off. And she's now trying to get shots on an M8A1 over in the distance. And the M3 Stuart has gone elsewhere, and Mary Banks has got some damage on that M8A1, but the M3 Stuart has not gone away. Well, Ramtoff's appeared as well, so I think they're basically covering for each other. There's not much that you can do in these circumstances except report these trolls to the Wargaming. And in fact, actually, we looked up the data for this person after the game, and we found out that his real name is something else. And, well, it's actually, sorry, it was his real name is Ac12207, but his results suggest that he is a troll and a troll account. He's just trolled her again by pushing her out of that bush. And she's pulled back. And he's coming back. So it's definitely troll behaviour. Mary Banks is not instigating this in any way. She's not forcing him to engage with her. What she's doing is trying to avoid him, actually, but he just keeps coming back to try and troll her. And Mary Banks thinks it's Nordic. Nordic girl. Well, the enemy's in sight and they're coming this way. BT5, M2 medium and a T40. Okay, Mary Banks has moved to one side so she can get shots on the enemy. She gets one shot into the BT5. And she's getting shots on these guys. But she pulls back over this ridge line, and that means she can't hit the BT5, but she takes a round from a T40 behind her into the tracks. She's moving to avoid. She gets another shot into the BT5. And he's killed and taken out by the Su-76M on their team. And Mary Banks escapes. And here comes the troll M3 Stuart. And he's following her. You notice how He's trying to mirror her moves. If she moves in one direction, he moves in the same direction. Yep, definitely mirroring. And she manages to fool him there. He kept trying to come up behind her and ram her, but she managed to fox him by suddenly reversing at the moment that he thought he was going to get in, ram into her. But she did it again and made a fool out of the M3. And he fired a round near her, but he didn't actually hit her at all. And the communication in chat is continuing. And the M3 Stuart has finally gone off elsewhere. The team's doing quite well. They're 2 tanks up on the enemy. But Marybanks is going off down the west side of the map. And as you know, that T-40 is somewhere around here. And really, she doesn't want to meet the T-40 because it's a tank destroyer. It does have fairly decent guns. And it can remain fairly well hidden. And there it is. Yep. First shot doesn't work. And he fires an HE round into her. She's firing rounds back, but she's being hit by 2 tanks, and she's taken out the game. So we're now following Ramtough. You could say Marybanks bit off more than she could chew. She shouldn't have gone after the T-40. And we can see now that the M3 Stuart, now that Marybanks is dead, he started engaging the enemy for a change. Or she has. And she's no longer trolling anyone, she's just hiding now. Well, the team is doing well, so it looks like they are going to win this game. Ramtough is right down the other end, and he's exchanging fire with an M3 GFT, and he's killed him. They're still following the troll, who's not really helping now. Looks like he's going up onto the hill so he can get shots from a distance. There's Ramtough off in the middle of the enemy territory. And that looks is going up to engage the Panzer 4D. Rams himself to death against the Panzer 4D. Meanwhile, this M3 Stuart has lost any attention for his own teammates. Is now solely playing the game. He's not... Well, tracked himself. And now he's trying to fire at the M1542. So now he is actually trolling other people. So he's definitely a troll. No doubt about it. He trolled Marybanks and now he's in trolling others. You can see he's aiming directly at the M15, trying to provoke him to fire back. This guy needs a ban. His account needs to be disqualified because he is a troll. And he's firing on the Panzer 4D there. And he's now capping. And we'll just sit here and watch the game. We can see that Ramtough is moving around in circles, avoiding the enemy, trying to fire shots. And there's the T-28 firing to get resets. But it's too late because they've capped out and won. And now they're all firing back at the T-28. So it was a victory. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, we can see that Marybanks didn't get any medals in the game. She did pick up credits though, and XP. Her win rate from the game was 1,416. And you can see she did get 1 kill on that Panzer 3E. When we look at the the damage, we can see that the highest damage was actually done by that T-40. It was quite deadly, 1,174. I'd stay away from those if you're in a tier 3 light tank in future, Mary, because these things are very, very deadly, especially when they're in combination with a Hetzer. Both have the guns to take down small little light tanks very, very quickly indeed. But we can see that Ramtough managed to get the second highest damage on his team, but it wasn't the second highest damage overall. In fact, actually, it was the 5th highest damage in the game, because there was the T127 ahead of him, as well as the T40, the Hetzer, and the T28 on the enemy team. In fact, the Hetzer and the T28 were the only two left alive on the enemy team at the end of the game. When it came to kills, it was the T127 and Ramtoff, both got 3 kills each. 2 kills for the M1542, who was trolled by the M3 Stuart. And the enemy team, well, they only had the T40, who got 2 kills, one of which was Marybanks. When it came to base XP, it was the T127 who did the best with 690, 624 to the Ramtoff, and 318 to the T40 rather than the M1542. And Marybanks was down the table. She got the 1 kill and 236 XP and 305 hit points of damage. Marybanks fired 10 rounds, got 8 direct hits, 6 penetration, 305 hit points of damage, of which 24 was at more than 300 meters. She received 5 hits from the enemy, 3 of them were penetration, 1 non-penetration, and 1 hit by way of splash damage. The non-penetration shot came when she was at the other end of the map, the north end of the map. It went into the tracks. But the other ones, well, yes, she got too close to that T40, and the Hetzer could see her, and that's why she was out of the game. 4 enemy vehicles damaged, 1 killed, and 68 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, she earned 9,035 credits from the game, got 70,000 credits for completing the mission and events, so a total of 79,035 credits. And after repair and ammunition resupply, still took away a profit of 77,700 credits. So quite a good game in that sense. 354 XP times 2 for the first victory, took away 708 on this occasion. But yes, the troll is Ac12207 on the NA server. And let's have a look at his details so we can actually see. Well, he did 58 hit points of damage on the enemy, no kills, and 202 base XP. If we look at his details, we can see that is his real name, Ac12207, or account 12207. He belongs to the Unisecum no likey, so people who don't like unicums, and he's only done 527 battles. Now my suspicion is that this player is a troll, and this is a troll account specifically designed to go and interfere with other players in battle, and therefore Wargaming should remove him because he trolled Marybanks, he interfered with her play during battle, pushed her about, and therefore he deserves at least a 3-day ban at the very least. So if you're paying attention, Wargaming, please ban this player as soon as possible, because he's a troll and he shouldn't be playing the game at all, really. In fact, actually, he should be banned permanently, because obviously it's quite obvious that he's been doing this before and spends most of his time in tiers 1, 2 and 3 interfering with other people. If you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and please do report account 12207 to Wargaming NA so that they can remove him as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.